I was thinking about this when actually Doug Lovelace called me and asked me to do this. It's just dawned on me on the train as I was driving, or as I was taking the train up from Washington to Shady Grove. And I thought to myself, look, the United States has somewhere about 1.2 million active duty service members under arms or in uniform currently serving. And we're the only country on earth, unless someone can point this out to me and tell me I'm completely wrong. This was my on-the-train thought, mind you. We're the only country on earth where that 1.2 million commitment of active duty forces has almost no physical material defense of the United States responsibility, right? There's no like imminent threat to the United States that exists on either of our borders. I mean, when you think of all the other countries that have very large military establishments, they all have some perceived existential challenge that at least that they perceive on their borders, and therefore that's why they maintain the military capability they do. The United States, on the other hand, all 1.2 million are really, I mean, to a certain extent, I got it. Homeland defense is the #1 issue, but all that 1.2 million in investment is really focused on being employed somewhere else in the world to defend some core interest somewhere else in the world, which is unique to the United States. But it also really creates for us a bit of a trap. It's in many respects, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because we have it, because we have this ability to actually reach out and sort of influence outcomes abroad. It's clearly a curse because whenever there is some compelling national security or international security issue, all eyes in the room turn to the United States and say, so what are you going to do about it? You're the only one who can do something about it, so what are you going to do? We're right there with you, but we're not there with the same 1.2 million in personnel, and thousands of aircraft, hundreds of ships, et cetera, that you can bring to the problem. So this blessing and a curse is, frankly, it's unavoidable. I mean, the unilateral sort of reduction in military capability could at some point, occur, and if that occurred, we basically lose a vote in some of the most compelling interests we have around the world. So what I would say, though, is Washington is not particularly good at two things, which is where and when do I get in to a circumstance, and how and under what conditions I get out. And frankly, that leads us to that's the whole conundrum we've been in over the last decade plus with respect to Iraq and Afghanistan, is we've taken action, we've employed this enormous capacity that we have, but frankly, we haven't had an ability to actually have appetite suppression in the objectives we pursue, the resources we're going to devote, et cetera. So the bottom line in my case, in answering this question, is at this point in history, the United States faces really what are incredible centrifugal forces with respect